share with you why I love being a mother. Motherhood. Nikki, I'm going to try to do a little poem like you. That's what I'm saying. Motherhood. It starts with the senses. It shapes the inner core. It makes the weak strong. It reaches into the hearts and pulls out thorns of bitterness, fear, and selfishness. It creates wonder where there is no imagination, and softness where only harshness existed. Motherhood can bring floods of tears, mountains of sadness, valleys of anger, and canyons of frustration. But more importantly for me, it brings ridiculous joy and downspouts of happiness. For me, being a mother is one of the most delightful and life-changing experiences I'll ever have. When I think of motherhood, one word comes to my mind: selflessness. For me, being a mother is one of the greatest joys and biggest responsibilities. When I became a mother, as Sister Noble stated, I didn't get a manual with steps 1, 2, and 3. Instead, I got a lot of people with their opinions as how I should raise my children. For the first 6 years of Dude's life and his absence, he's away at school, and for Nikki's, the first 4 years of Nikki's life, I worked outside the home. But in my heart, I wanted to be at home with them. Although I worked in the early childhood field, I didn't like picking up my children and having to listen to the child care providers tell me what they did, what they ate, how they behaved. Even though I was in that same position when people would come pick up their kids, I had to give them the same type of report. I wanted to be the ones always to see and hear the first in their lives. But more importantly, I didn't want someone else's morals and values to be dominant in my children's life. If someone else is taking care of your kids for 6 plus more hours a day, their values and morals could influence their lives. Some situations took place while I was at work. When I called my husband and I told him what happened, he told me I could put my resignation in. At that time, I didn't know he hung the other side of the phone and was like, oh my God, what did I do? But that was one of the best decisions that we could have ever made. Being a mother is important to me, but being a stay-at-home mom was even more important. I chose to give up what I wanted as far as luxury of having an extra income, further my career and my education so that I could be at home and raise my children and prepare them for their future. I was ridiculed by some. You stupid. Why are you going to stay at home? You got to rely on a man to give you money. But I was praised by others. I had friends tell me, I tried it, I could never do it. But you, I think you can do it. But regardless of what the other people said, I knew in my heart that this was my purpose. This is what God wanted me to do. Like Jochebed, Moses' mother, you can read the story in Exodus, the 2nd chapter, the 1st to the 10th verse, and the 6th chapter, the 20th verse. She chose to do what was best for her child. In order to protect her child, she put him in a basket and sent him up a river to escape being murdered. Jochebed probably thought she would never see her child again. To some, this might have seemed drastic. I'm quite sure questions would arise as to why Jochebed didn't do something else to protect her child. But because Jochebed chose the right solution, not only did she see her child again, she also nursed him and raised him in the palace instead of someone else raising him. Because I chose the solution to stay at home and didn't allow anyone else to raise my children, the morals and values that Pastor Jennings and I will be the influence of our children instead of someone else's. Being able to be at home and to be there to see all of their first, making sure they had breakfast in the morning, that their lunches were made, that I was there after school was very important for them. I wanted to be home when they got home. If they needed a snack, make sure their homework was done. Say no, change your clothes before you go out and play. I didn't want someone else to have that responsibility. That was my responsibility. I needed to do this. It was important in rearing our children because it gave them stability and consistency. As my children transitioned from stage to stage, some of the stages were more challenging than others. But being there to diffuse the situation and to be an advocate when an issue arose, not hours later, was crucial for our kids. If they came home and they had an issue, I wanted to be there to jump on it right then and there. You don't know sometimes if a child comes home from school and there's an issue and they have to wait 3 hours later to the next day, that very issue could be very damaging to their child as opposed to taking care of it right then and there. It gave my children a sense of security and empowering them, assuring them that I will always be there to help them with any problem, but more importantly, helping them with conflict resolution skills. Volunteering at their school on a regular basis was something that I really enjoyed. And not only showed my children that I was interested in what they were doing at school, but it showed them that I'm investing my time, my talent, and my treasure to ensure that they will have a quality education and extracurricular activities that they will be able to be involved in. I could go on and on and on for days about the experiences that I had thus far and why I love being a mom. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to leave with these words. Something that has helped me through the years. Pray. As moms, we must teach our children to pray. They should see us pray, and we should pray with them. Influence. We are our children's first teacher. Make sure what we do and what we say is edifying to them. Sometimes we may have to go back and say, I'm sorry. But that's more important than leaving a door open for any other negativity to come in. Sacrifice. We have to sacrifice what we want for ourselves, for our children. Sometimes I look at my kids like, I don't want anything. I want them to have X. It's okay for me not to want them. And I don't have to have a lot of material things. Just being around my family is more important to me than any material thing that I can get. Joy. Seeing my baby come up there and recite a poem that she made from her heart. Getting a text from my son. We were talking in Sunday school about Nikki was laughing about her and you didn't have money one time. They went to Walgreens and bought Dad and I some candy for a gift one time and put a little bow around it. I get joy out of seeing my children do things like that. They don't have to go to the store and buy me the most expensive gift. I get joy out of seeing them reciprocate something that I have taught them. Mentoring. Being able to prepare them to fulfill their dreams. Not what I want them to do, but what they want them to do. Transition. Understanding motherhood has different stages, and to understand the dynamics of each stage. When our son went out to college, I knew the dynamic of my motherhood for him would change. I can't teach him how to be a man. That's my husband's job. And to be able to step back. He called my husband one time about a situation with football. He called my husband first instead of calling his mom. And I got more joy out of that because he's understanding how to be a man and I can't teach him how to do that. I have to know when to push, when to pull, and when to let go. Fulfillment. Proverbs 22:6 says, train up a child in the way that he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart. To see your children put statuses on Facebook and mention scriptures. To hear your children talking to their friends and using scriptures. Or with them even having conversations with me and using scriptures. I get fulfillment out of that. I can stand here for hours and explain and talk about all of the joy I have of being a mom. But Pastor Jennings won't let us be here that long. So I thank God that he allowed me to be a mother because I didn't have to be. Amen.